In today's class, we are going to learn a synthesis of radioisotopes. The first isotope is a tritium. It has a half-life period of 22.33 years. This tritium disintegrates to form helium-3 with beta and gamma radiations. So in nature, this tritium is formed by irradiating fast neutrons of cosmic origin with atmospheric nitrogen. Formed tritium combined with a normal hydrogen atoms and it forms H2 molecule. It is same like H2. Instead of H2, one of the hydrogen atom in H2 is replaced by tritium. So this formed H2 molecule gets oxidized to tritiated water, that is H2O, and through rain this tritiated water will reach a sea, river and lake. It is found that the equilibrium ratio between tritium and hydrogen in open water is in a range of 10 raised to minus 18. In laboratory, this tritium is formed by irradiating lithium magnesium alloy with a fast moving neutron, and formed this tritium is then recovered by heating alloy. Second isotope is carbon 14. It has its half-life period 5730 years. This carbon 14 isotope disintegrate to forms a stable nitrogen 14 with beta and gamma rays. So in nature, this carbon 14 is formed by alternate interaction of fast neutron of cosmic origin with the atmospheric nitrogen, and this carbon 14 is present in atmosphere in the form of isotopic labeled carbon dioxide. So in nature, along with the normal CO2, some amount of isotopic labeled carbon content carbon dioxide also exists, and during the photosynthesis this carbon dioxide will enter in a plant, and it is observed that at a plant the equilibrium ratio between carbon 14 to carbon 12 isotope will be 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 12, and it yields a 15.8 plus or minus 0.3 disintegration per minute per gram. Now we are going to learn the synthesis of isotopic labeled carbon 14, specifically barium carbonate containing isotopic labeled carbon. So the substance which are rich with nitrogen like beryllium nitride or aluminum nitride is irradiated with high flux of slow neutron having the energy of 495 kilo electron volt. This irradiated sample then dissolved in a mixture of 65% sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide. It releases carbon dioxide, which is then passed over copper oxide at 750 degrees Celsius, and the formed carbon dioxide then absorbed by barium hydroxide and gets precipitated as barium carbonate containing isotopic labeled carbon, that is carbon 14. Using this barium carbonate, organic molecules gets labelized, and this labeled carbon 14 in an organic molecule will help us in predicting mechanism of the organic reaction. Next isotope is sodium 22. It has half-life period of 2.6 years. This sodium 22 disintegrate to form neon 22 with the emission of beta and gamma rays. It is formed by bombarding accelerated deuteron of energy 8.5 mega electron volt over a magnesium. To get energetical deuterium, we use cyclotron. Then this irradiated magnesium is dissolved in dilute hydrochloric acid and it forms a solution. That solution is then electrolyzed using 12-volt battery containing platinum anode and mercury as cathode. So as we know, the sodium will be positively charged. So on electrolysis, this sodium 22 will move towards a negative electrode, that is a cathode, and as a cathode is made by a mercury, so the sodium combines with a mercury to form sodium amalgam. So formed sodium amalgam, then subsequent decomposition in water to form sodium hydroxide containing isotopic labeled sodium 22. Next isotope which we are going to learn is a phosphorus 32. It has a half-life period of 14.28 days. This phosphorus 32 disintegrate to form sulfur 32 with the emission of beta and gamma rays. This phosphorus 32 is synthesized by using two different methods. In first method, using red phosphorus. So here a fast moving neutrons are bombarded over a red phosphorus and it forms phosphorus 32. So this particular method will produce 100% isotopic abundant phosphorus 32, and this is a very less expensive method, but it has a low specific activity. A second method is using sulfur 32. Here slow moving neutrons are bombarded over sulfur 32 and it gets converted into phosphorus 32. This method will produce a 90% isotopic abundant phosphorus 32. The next isotope is sulfur 35. It has a half-life period of 87.5 days, and this sulfur 35 disintegrate to form chlorine 35 plus beta and gamma rays. So this isotope is formed by irradiating sodium chloride with a high flux of neutron. So when a neutron is irradiated over sodium chloride containing chlorine 35, it gets converted into sulfur 35 with other isotopes like sodium 24, chlorine 38, phosphorus 32 and chlorine 36. That means on irradiating sodium chloride over flux of neutron, we are not going to get only sulfur 32. Along with sulfur 32, other isotopes like sodium 24, chlorine 38, phosphorus 32 and chlorine 36, we get it. So further, if we want to get isotopic labeled sulfuric acid containing sulfur 35, then this irradiated sodium chloride we should allow to stand for about a week. So after a week, this sodium 24, it has a half-life period of 15 hours. Chlorine 38, it has a half-life period of 37 minutes. All such isotopes decays completely. Then it is heated in a platinum boat in a slow current of dry hydrogen. So the exit gas, which was H2S containing isotopic label sulfur 35, is then bubbled through bromine water. So on reacting with water, that H2S gets converted into H2SO4 containing sulfur 35. The last isotope is iodine 131. It has a half-life period is just 8.04 days. This iodine 131 decomposes readily to form a stable xenon 131 with the emission of beta and gamma rays. This is synthesized by irradiating slow moving neutron over a tellurium 130 and it forms iodine 131 with the emission of radiations. This isotope is very much important, especially in a medical field, and as the half-life period of this iodine 131 is very less, so it is prepared when it is needed. Thank you.